And George, how did you hear it?
Yeah, I was in bed at the time in England, and I don't know, the call came through sometime in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning. I didn't take the call. Olivia took the call, and she said, John's been shot. And I thought, oh, how bad is it? You know, I just thought maybe a flesh wound or something like that. But they said, no, that's it, he's dead. So I didn't know. I just went back to sleep, actually. I just, maybe it's just a way of getting away from it. I just went to sleep and then waited to see, you know, what it said the next morning. And he was still dead the next morning, unfortunately. Oh. But, you know, I feel not so bad about it, in as much as, you know, I had this, you know, unlike Ringo, when I went to Rishikesh in India, I went into meditation and I had some good experiences, and I got to...
I had some good experiences.
I know you did, and you forgot to tell him that.
Well, yeah, but you only asked about the eggs.
So, I believe what it says in the scriptures and in the Bhagavad Gita. It says there was never a time when you didn't exist, and there'll never be a time when you cease to exist. The only thing that changes is our bodily condition. Soul comes in the body, and we go from birth to death, and it's death, how I look at it, is like taking your suit off. You know, the soul is in these 3 bodies, and one body falls off. And I feel like that. I can feel him around here.
Oh,
and,
I've seen him twice.
Did he feel that?
No, I have.
You've seen him?
Oh, yeah, I felt one time very strong that I was in a hotel room in L.A., and I was real down and miserable, whatever was going on. He was in the corner saying, what are you doing? I'm being miserable. I said, well, come on, get it together. No, I believe, like George, on that respect, though, we just did the joking bit about the eggs, that we do continue. And I do believe in God.
Did he? What mental state was John in at that time? Do you know?
Well, I'd never seen him for a couple of years before that, but I had enough experience. Well, we all did. During the 60s, we had, you know, there was people putting stuff in our coffee, which gave us some crazy experiences, and when they stopped doing it, we started putting it in our own coffee for a bit.
2 girls wondering what you put in your coffee over there.
And, you know, but, you know, we had a lot of experiences. I know John was, you know, he knew who he was, that he was a soul that happened to be in this body for this period of time. And, you know, I don't think... it's just the method by which you die, you know. I mean, I think it's nicer if you can consciously leave your body at death, as opposed to just some lunatic shooting you on the street or having a plane crash, something like that. I think it's unfortunate the way he went out, but it doesn't really matter. He's okay, and life flows on within you and without you.
How are you doing, Johnny?
Would
Over to you, Michael.
Well, I was going to ask, would anything have persuaded you to, all that is, to reform the Beatles even for one night? And what kind of offers did you get anyway?
Well, I think the only time we phoned each other up, because everyone kept trying to get us together, but somebody phoned up and they offered us just for one gig, and we only used to do 25 minutes. They offered us 50 million.
Dollars, was it?
Lira.
Could have been in anything. 25 quid each. And I do remember, but George never called any, but I remember calling everyone else, and them calling me saying, oh, well, what do you think? You know, 25 minutes, buying you a new suit.
So what stopped you then?
We will never get it together. And I mean, we broke up, you know, for all the reasons we know about. I mean, you know, to get together. I don't really believe in, like, this getting together thing, really. Now, if we got together, it would be George, Paul, and Ringo. If we got together, it would not be the Beatles, you know. We'll never do it with Julian, because it'll be George, Paul, what's my name? And Julian. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you would never go out there again with that. Well, I won't. I don't know about Georgie. Would you go out, Georgie, with that name?
No, it wouldn't be the Beatles. But the thing is, it's not to say that, you know, I mean, Ringo and I hang out occasionally and play some tunes together.
I'm on the album.
He's on the album, he was on the concert, and Paul does concerts, and as I say, we're getting to be friendlier with Paul. It's good chance someday maybe we'll write a tune and play together, but it won't be the Beatles. And if people expect us to be the Beatles, they're going to be disappointed. But you may see 3 old guys called John, Paul and Ringo who someday may sing a song together.
I bet I don't get to sing.
But you have other things to offer. I mean, looking
Oh, yes, Michael, you're telling them now.
What about acting? Now,
Acting?
You've done...
Couldn't get a job if I died.
You've always been a film fan, haven't you?
I love films. And I love cameras, as you may have noticed.
You've got a lot of new fans, though, with Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, I have. It's great. It's great. It is fabulous with Thomas. I never knew it would be so big. In fact, the first time Britt Allcroft, who was the producer of all this, came up, saying, you know, I'd like you to read these stories about this train, which I never had because I was a Beano man. And I said, you've got to be crazy. It's Star Wars and Madison. We were talking years ago anyway. And so she came back and convinced me. So I said, look, I'll just read 5 of the stories on my own, on tape, and you listen to them and see if you still want me. And she did. And then we did Thomas the Train. There's all these little babies screaming again. Hey-go, hey-go! I used to have the mothers. Now I've got the kids.
You are, of course, the poorest Beatle.
I am the poorest Beatle, Michael.
That's why I'm on the show.
That won't do much for your last... Well, you're down to your last 20 million now, I think, aren't you?
No, I didn't even make the list, and Georgie's got 14, so I'm down to, what, 12.
Are you a great spender, though? I mean, you enjoy it.
That's why. I love to spend. That's the only reason to have it.
What's the biggest waste of money you can claim to have done?
The biggest waste?
Well, the biggest...
I mean, if you call this, like, some reality, that's all waste.
What? Apple.
Well, that was all of us. You can't blame me for that personally.
If it had all never happened, what would you be doing now?
I'd be a drummer. Well, what's funny about that? I mean, I decided when I was 18, this is my life. So, you know, just because we made it, you know, I don't think, I mean, you're asking a weird question because we don't know what would have happened if it hadn't happened.
All conjecture.
But I just feel that I still would have been playing behind the strippers.
George?
Or in front these days.
I think I probably would have been probably a better guitar player than I am now because,
Impossible.
you know, the famous bit sort of we ended up just playing the same old stuff for years. But I started playing the guitar when I was about 13, and that's the only thing I really wanted to do. I didn't want to be a Thomas the Tank Engine or...
Thanks so much.
or a train, you know, a fireman or anything like that.
Would you have been happier men?
Oh.
If it had not occurred?
I always feel I was born happy.
So happiness...
I don't, you know, happy. Yeah, I'm basically happy. Yeah, I am happy.
And George, you certainly are.
I'm quite happy, yeah, I'm happy. But you can't say, you know, this is our lives, you know, this is the only life I can remember, and I'm happy enough doing it. It's been up and down and good and bad, and in the end, I think all of us have come out of it reasonably sane and quite happy.
Well, the rest of us are happy, and for all of us, it's been fab. Thank you very much indeed. Ringo Starr and George Harrison. Thank you. And thanks for your company. See you next week. Good night.